So this is going to be an install, or actually a reinstallation of my master cylinder. I've already installed the booster. I'm going to show you how to take the measurements to how to properly set the depth for your booster push rod. Okay, so to do this, there are some other videos out there. You do not need any other tools other than a caliper. You don't need any kind of measuring tool or anything like that. So I should note that my car is using the Cobra 93 Cobra master cylinder, and I also have a line lock, so don't necessarily replicate exactly my plumbing. Unless you have a Hearst line lock, then you might want to look at this. Just be aware. I'm trying to show you the procedure, and the biggest thing I want to show you is how to measure this, because if you don't measure this right, either your brake push rod coming out of the booster is going to be too far back, in which case your pedal travel is going to be excessive, or if you have it sticking out too far, you're going to preload on your brakes and your brakes are going to drag. So you definitely want to do this. If you have a brand new brake booster, don't just slap it on. You definitely want to take this measurement, or similar. If you replace your master cylinder with something new, you want to take these measurements. It only takes a couple minutes. It's very easy. Don't be intimidated by it. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, so the first thing to understand is that inside this brake booster, this little cylinder, or this sleeve inside of here, is a hydraulic piston. So there's a little hole inside of this. That plunger, when you push on the brake, is what activates the hydraulic portion of the master cylinder. So inside that depth, we need to measure the total depth inside of this. However, when this mounts to the booster, the face of the booster is here. So when we actually measure this, we're going to measure the total distance here, but we're going to need to subtract off this little, I guess you call it a little step here, the inner diameter. We're going to have to subtract that off because this isn't going to count. That's only going to be the portion sticking out from the booster, which I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, first step, we're going to come along, make sure we zero out our, and we want to measure this height. In this case, 0.62 inches. We're going to write that down. And so you can't measure directly into the depth because there's a little step here. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to measure the depth of the hole to this surface, and then this surface from the piston to this outer portion here, and then basically be able to take that difference, and then I'll be able to get the actual true depth from this point to here. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so we just want to measure this little offset. And we've done that. 0.15 inches. We're going to write that number down. Okay, now we're going to measure actually the depth of the hole. And 1.441. Okay, so now that we have our measurements, we had 1.44 inches from the full hole to this, or basically the full depth of the hole to this portion. Then we need to add this little step from the face of this to the face of this, which was 0.150. Okay, so just to be clear, make sure nobody's confused. We started with the depth of the hole from this surface. We added the distance of 0.150 from this surface to this surface. We subtracted off the distance of this step here from the face of this to the outer face of this, which gives us basically a hole depth of 0.971 inches. So from the face of this to the depth of the hole there. So now we're going to go over to the booster. We're going to take the measurement there. Okay, similar approach here. I have the depth inside the booster, and I have the total depth here. You can try and get a piece of metal or some kind of straight edge. You don't need to do that. The only thing you do need to worry about is inside of here, there's a little chamfer. You want to make sure that you get the flat portion in here. And as long as you do that, you'll be good on your distance. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in here. We're going to basically measure what's the depth of the hole. The depth of the hole, 0.828. We're going to write that down. And now we're going to measure the total distance of the push rod of the booster. 1.826. We're going to write that down. So guys, I do apologize. I hope this AC is not too loud. I was thinking about that. It's 99 degrees here in New Hampshire today. Probably going to be the hottest day of the year. And my brain would actually melt if I was in this garage. So apologies in advance for that. So now we just going back to our measurements. We measured the depth of the entire push rod was 1.826 inches, and the depth of the hole from the face of the booster in that hole is 0.828, which you can see pretty close to an inch, 0.998 inches. So at this point, you know, again, I don't know how much these things vary, but this is basically kind of telling you, you know, 0.971. This roughly should be about an inch. Those are the numbers we're dealing with. So now what I'm going to do is, since this is 0.971, I don't want the actual push rod to be pushing in, so I'm actually going to back this thing in and make it 0.961 inches. I want that little bit of travel plus just the resolution, accuracy. You know, who knows how, you know, how close, if I'm slightly off or whatever, but it'll give me enough leeway in here that it'll be more than adequate for what I need to do for this car. And I'm going to show you how this push rod actually make the adjustment. I'll give you a little tip here. So guys, I started this a little bit earlier, just getting it so you can already see I intentionally got this pretty close. One thing you definitely don't want to do, you don't want to reap on this, you don't want to bend this push rod, because if, depending on how it's rotated, it could, you know, impact the ability for the brake to be even if the thing spins around. But what I had to do is, I've seen other boosters that have like an actual nut. This doesn't. This has like a little knurled piece with another knurled piece on the screw. And I was a little bit worried. You don't want to. This was actually, it seemed like it was kind of stuck. I actually put a little bit of silicone spray on it just to get this. So we already know I'm looking for 0.961 inches. I'm a little bit long right now. So what I did is I just took a pair of, you could do this with a pair of pliers, but I just found that just that little bit, without stripping it out, and this seemed to work pretty good. Okay, so just to make this clear, again, we measured the depth of this hole at 0.828 inches, and we want a protrusion of 0.961 inches. So we want to add the 0.828 plus the 0.961. That gives us 1.789 inches. I've already gone ahead and adjusted this. I've shown you how to do this. And just to show you. Now again, you know, you don't need to be, you know, so there I am, 1.778. More than close enough. It is not protruding too far. It's also not too far back. You know, 50 to 100 thousandths is plenty. You just want to give yourself a little bit of leeway. So at this point, guys, we are done. I'm going to go ahead and install it. It's basically two 9/16 bolts. I'll go ahead and install it. And at this point, we're done. At this point, it becomes a brake bleed procedure. And I hope this helps you out. Hope this gives you a little bit of understanding of what needs to happen. Okay, guys, I've shown you how to, you know, the brake booster, how to adjust it, how to measure off of your master cylinder. One thing I do want to mention, again, this is a reinstall, so I actually have some fluid inside of this, so I don't need to bleed the master cylinder. I have a power bleeder that pretty much, even if I didn't even do anything with the master cylinder, it'll probably bleed out anyways. What a proper way to do this is, you actually, if you have a brand new master cylinder, go spend the $10 on a kit, and it has little lines that basically take from the slave cylinder here. It'll actually bring the fluid out from here, basically get the slide, the little hydraulic slide in here. It'll take the fluid in here and then basically recycle it right in there. Mine doesn't need to do that, so I'm sure somebody was going to comment, hey, you didn't do this, blah blah blah. So I'm going to do a separate video on brake bleeding. Again, I don't want to show you my setup, because there's, you know, several different configurations. I've got a 93 booster with a line lock, can be different. Having a little ratcheting wrench will help you, especially on the inner one. And then when you're doing brake lines, majority of your brake lines on the Fox are a 7/16. I've got some 3/8 in here, so this is a cheapy Duralast. I think it comes from AutoZone. But definitely use brake line tool. Don't use an adjustable or use a regular open end. You'll end up stripping off the end of it. So again, this video is kind of geared towards people who haven't done this and want to DIY, save themselves some money. Anyways, I hope these tips help you out, at least get you in the right direction. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.